Hey everyone, today I wanted to host a little bit of a discussion topic regarding Monster Hunter Rise's 2-year anniversary since it originally launched back onto the Nintendo Switch. So I certainly want to encourage everyone to do let me know some of their highlight moments, some of their best memories, maybe some of their worst memories, or simply put, why they decided to try the game out since basically World and Iceborne launched a few years prior. And certainly the franchise took a turn to do something a little bit different on a brand new console. So certainly I want to encourage you guys to do let me know in the comments what you guys think of the franchise after all this time. And certainly I want to give you my feedback on not just the current state of the franchise, but of course what drove me to cover it in the way that I have so far, which I'll be touching upon pretty much in the back end of the video. So essentially Rise originally launched, if you guys remember, of course, March 26th of 2021, exclusively onto the Nintendo Switch. About 10 months later, it launched on PC Steam. Of course, just earlier this year, back in January, it launched on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC Windows. And, soon after, Sunbreak launched on the Nintendo Switch last year, as well as at the same time on PC Steam. So there's been plenty of love levied to Rise from many players. But there's also still that contingency of players who, still hold World and Iceborne in higher regard because of the visual fidelity. They feel the game was more grounded or whatever the case is. And they feel like Rise is a little bit too arcadey, maybe too fast. The game needs to slow down. And it reminds me a little bit of that criticism when we saw, the shift from Generations Ultimate heading into World, where, Generations and those 3DS, PSP games or whatever, maybe even the Wii U games, 3 Ultimate, those games were slow. They were very methodical. They were more, tentatively focused, if you will. Like if you had to, play a specific style in order for you to be aggressive, you're going to get punished a lot. Where now, World introduced so much more faster movement and a lot of quality of life improvements, but it still didn't push them through all the way to the end. And now Rise took another step forward, another leap to make the game even faster, more arcadey, more action focused. And a lot of people just don't seem to like that, so they're always asking for kind of like World 2 to kind of come out, Monster Hunter 6 to be more focused on the World aesthetics, the World archetype, where the game feels more slower than Rise does because it feels too fast for them, which again, it reminds me of those same criticisms we saw levied from Generations heading into World. The game's just kind of been different. And at the end of the day, I love Rise for what it is. A lot of introduction of really cool monsters. I ended up actually buying all of the plushies for the Rise new monsters that were introduced, which is something I've never done for any game, much less a Monster Hunter game, because I just like pretty much every single one of the monsters that they decided to introduce. And I played, of course, and I've been covering the game for the 2 years now that has been out. I played it over 800 hours. Sunbreak another 300-400 hours or whatever it is now at this point, maybe more, due to the anomaly investigation grind that they've been putting us through. And there's just been so many things to do. I've now played the game on, of course, the Nintendo Switch, reviewed it on PC Steam, reviewed it on PlayStation 5, played the Xbox version. I guess the only one that I haven't played is PC Windows, but other than that, been pretty much playing it everywhere. And, I'm a massive fan of it at the end of the day. I wouldn't be talking about the game on a daily basis if I wasn't. I've had a lot of criticisms levied my way for my channel for the way that I cover content from not just bigger content creators in the Monster Hunter community, which is really funny because they think they own the community just because they have a bigger channel, but also, people, just random people on Twitter complaining, which is what Twitter is for, I guess, people complaining about coverage or how news is disseminated in different formats, not just on my channel but other ones. Apparently they think that there's only one way to be able to talk about a specific game and no one else is allowed to have an opinion on it, which is of course very untrue and not like how the internet works at all. So not only do I think and I'm thankful for not just the Monster Hunter franchise but Monster Hunter Rise specifically for allowing my channel to blossom the way that it did for a few years, and for me to be able to focus on a game specifically that I really love, that I really care about. I've had people a lot of sometimes I make a random mistake on a video and I mention one thing wrong or whatever the case is. And I will remind some of you, English is my second language. I'm not originally American or anything like that. So if I happen to say something wrong, a lot of people in the comments will be like, have you actually played the game? You don't know what you're talking about. It's like, you know, maybe I messed up on one thing, one specific word, and all of a sudden I have no idea what I'm talking about. Everything I've ever said is wrong or whatever, which is really funny to read. You know, I know a lot of people take the internet very seriously, but that's not the case. That's not really how it works. So, it's pretty interesting to see stuff like that. And at the end of the day, channels like mine only cover the game because they love it, not because Capcom is telling us to do so, not because they're encouraging me with money or anything like that. They don't give a damn about a channel like mine or anything like that. It's just, free publicizing for them. They're more focused on chasing views from like Twitch streamers who happen to stream daily. That's a more concurrent viewership that, these companies care for, not necessarily a small channel like mine. So, that is just the reality of the situation. So certainly I'm thankful for everyone who's decided to give my channel a chance, as I've covered Rise and essentially Sunbreak since then. And I guess my only real criticism that I have for the game now, as of the current state that it is, where we're waiting for the 5th free title update, and as we're heading forward into just seeing finally what new monsters are going to decide to add in, since essentially Sunbreak hasn't had new monsters being added in. Everything has been a returning monster one way or another, or a such species, but not a true new monster. So a lot of people are hoping that actually changes. Most likely won't, based on some of the data mines, which of course I'm still working on a video on that. And I feel like I've been saying that for over a month, but trust me when I say that, it's because I actually put in the research for the things that I talk about. I don't just randomly make a video with no research done, which other people do, but it is what it is. Everyone has their style. There's no reason to criticize. So, and at the end of the day, I feel like the only real criticism that I do have for the game is that, they never unified Rise and Sunbreak for, all the consoles that is available on Switch, PC Steam, PC Windows, PlayStation, and Xbox. And that is their biggest mistake. Capcom's biggest mistake for this game, that they never decided to unify it. The player base on PlayStation is low. The player base on Xbox is new, and they're not necessarily very good hunters. I've played a lot of X version of base Monster Hunter Rise on Xbox. There's a lot of players who already played the game on Nintendo Switch or PC Steam. It's not brand new players being brought in, except just to test it out on Game Pass. PlayStation players happen to be mostly Japanese. Most of the people, if you decide to just jump online, you're just going to find Japanese players. There's not that many American players or North American or Western players playing, Rise on PlayStation for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. The bulk of the player base is on Nintendo Switch, of course, and PC Steam. And that's just the way that it's going to remain. I don't even know what the player base is on PC Windows because I've never tested it. There's no reason to. I'm going to assume that it's the smallest one. So, at the end of the day, I think that is the biggest mistake that they have had with the franchise. But juxtaposed to that, they've done so many good things. The game is faster, it's more interesting, it's better. I feel like they've done a much better job. Post-launch content, whether it is you're a fan of what they've done with layered armors or lack of new weapons or whatever the case is. But I think the path that they've chosen with the free title updates has been better than in previous games where they felt more separated or more it took a longer time apart from each other for them to be able to drop free updates, when now they're kind of specifically following a timetable, and clearly everything has been laid out. So we now know specifically every 2 months free title update is dropping. We know that such and such new monster is going to come. We know that it's going to come with 15 or 16 event quests. We know that it's going to come with X amount of layered armor sets. Again, whether you're happy with those rewards or that system is an entirely separate conversation, but I think they've kind of finally nailed it after 2 years, Rise and Sunbreak, just the pattern that they needed to follow in order for the game to fully be realized. And still picking up on some of the ideas that they had with World and Iceborne, but finally making them their own right. And I think Rise in general just has been much better for it. So once again, I do want to encourage you guys in the comments to do let me know your opinions on not just the franchise, but what do you think is heading? Where do you think we're going to see? I am going to make a separate video talking about Monster Hunter in 2023. I kind of want to discuss not just all the things that have happened already, but will be happening based on some of the data mines and some new information that we have seen regarding, potentially the next mainline game as well. This is something that a lot of people are getting very excited about. And of course, that entire idea regarding a 6th free title update, which We expected there to be one, but it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. If you're brand new to my channel though, and thank you for subscribing, or if you haven't, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up, and as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.